Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ryel Kestano here. I'm a co-founder and senior course leader at Art International. We offer programs and workshops in the practice of authentic relating, training people and companies around the world in this profoundly life-changing practice. And I know so many of us are going through a lot right now and spending a lot more time at home. And so we wanted to put together this video. These are our top 5 skills for authentic relating in the home. These skills come from our courses and programs. They're super easy to learn and to apply, and they lead to a real shift in the quality and depth of your relationships and connections. So I hope you find this video useful. I encourage you to take these skills and use them in your lives and relationships right away. And let's dive in. The first skill I want to share with you is actually one of the most powerful, yet one of the simplest skills in the practice of authentic relating. And that's simply to slow down. By slowing down the pace of our conversations, our interactions, shared experiences, we can access more of what's happening in the here and now, more of what's happening for ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, sensations, and also give others the space to feel what's happening for them. As we slow down, we'll often notice so much more of the richness of being in connection with ourselves and with others. And we give ourselves space to notice the subtle nuances of our ever-changing moment-to-moment experience. You might notice that, especially in stressful or tense situations, everything tends to speed up. Our words, our thoughts, even our blood pressure can speed up. By slowing down, taking some breaths, we're able to get more in tune with what's happening in the present moment and to access more information of what's happening here and now. It often can be that when we're in a reactive space, we're very often bringing forward old memories or past traumas and superimposing them on the present moment. And when we can slow down, we can open our senses, notice more of what's happening, and take our time with the moment. And then that allows us to shift from reacting reflexively to responding intelligently. And you can even see this distinction between reacting and responding in our brain function, where parts of our primitive brain, like the amygdala in particular, are primed to react immediately to a perceived threat. When we can slow down and take some deep breaths, we're actually giving more time to bring online the other parts of our brain, especially the prefrontal cortex, that are responsible for more reasoned and rational thinking. So one of the most useful, practical, versatile tools you can use in any conversation is to simply ask, can we slow down? Whenever you notice the pace of the conversation seems fast or you're going into a reactive space, you can always ask, can we slow down? This is a really simple request that can be an absolute game changer in relationships, especially when things start feeling tense or emotions start to run high. The second skill for authentic relating at home are what we call the 3 levels of conversation. This is a really useful map for tracking where you are in a conversation and for guiding a conversation to a richer, more enlivening, more intimate experience of connection. So the first and highest level of conversation is what we call the informational. That's where we're talking about facts and data. It's quite dry and impersonal, although functional. Something like 80% of conversation occurs at the informational level. The next level down is what we call the personal level. Now we're talking about our emotions, how we feel about things, and we're starting to experience a kind of empathetic connection with other people. And yet authentic relating offers us a deeper third level, and we call that the relational level of conversation. And it's defined by what is happening here and now. What's happening right here, what's happening right now in myself, in you, in our shared space, in the environment. And it's in the here and now that we often find the most richness and intimacy, aliveness and connection with other people. So practice bringing your conversations to the relational level. You can ask others, how are you feeling right now? Or what's happening for you right now? You can reveal your own present moment experience with others. After you share something, you can ask, hey, how does it feel to hear me say that? Or after someone else shares, you can ask them, how does it feel to share that with me? It's the unpredictability of the present moment that can provide us with a real sense of aliveness that is very often lost when we're talking about life outside of the here and now. Another great application of this skill is to inject life into an otherwise lifeless or boring conversation. You can ask in the middle of the conversation, hey, how's this conversation going for you? Often that can be the thing that breaks the lifelessness and brings back the sense of aliveness. Really, anything that brings the attention to the present moment will most often guide a conversation toward more intimacy and deeper connection. Skill number 3 for authentic relating at home is what we call listen, reflect, share, impact. These skills are among the most versatile of all of the authentic relating skills we teach people, and they're the primary ingredients for an authentic conversation and connection. So in the practice of authentic relating, listening is listening with complete attention and presence, with no distractions pulling us away. It's listening as an empty vessel, as if the quality of our listening draws out the authentic expression in the listener. The more attentive we are, the more present we are with other people, the safer and more welcome they feel to reveal their true and authentic experience. Reflect is reflecting to understand, to really get where someone is coming from. It's not exactly echoing back what they're saying word for word, but reflecting more of their underlying essence, reflecting not just their words, but what we imagine they care about, what matters to them. Reflecting is not only to understand someone else's perspective, but also to let them feel fully seen and heard, to acknowledge and validate their experience, and to let them know that we're really with them, and really seeing them, feeling them, and connected to them. Lastly, sharing impact is sharing the authentic experience of what it's like to be with someone else right here and now. As someone is expressing themselves, what's happening for you? What's the impact on you of someone else being with you? Sharing impact works with reflecting by weaving in your own experience, and together these skills can create a profoundly vulnerable and intimate connective space. Authentic relating at home skill number 4 is what we call setting context. We explore a lot more of this skill, the power of setting context, at our courses, but for now I just want to illustrate how powerful this skill is by giving you a quick example. So let's say you're sitting down at the dinner table with your family at home, or it could be anyone else you're sharing your home with, and you notice that people are picking up their devices and they're distracted and they're not really present with each other or engaging with each other. And you notice you have a desire to have more connection with the people that you're sitting with and sharing dinner with. So instead of just letting things be, you can set a context that offers people an experience that gets your need or desire met, and most likely meets a need and desire that other people have as well. So in this case, you can say something like, hey, everybody, I'm noticing I'd like more connection among us, and I'm wondering if we can just set the devices aside for dinner and maybe even go around the table and just spend 2 or 3 minutes with each person so everybody gets some attention and we can feel more connected with each other. So in this example, you've created a context, you've proposed it to others, and now you're inviting them into a shared intentional experience. You can create and invite others into a context in so many different situations and circumstances. You can set a context for a single conversation, for how to divide household responsibilities, even for entire relationships, all in service of meeting your own needs and desires and the needs and desires of others. The easiest way to think about setting a context is to break it down by who, what, when, where, and why. So in the example I gave above, the who is the people sitting down to dinner. What is a conversation where we're present and in connection with each other. When is now and for the rest of dinner. Where is right here at the dinner table. And why? Why is to experience more intimacy, more connection, more presence, more empathy for each other. Why is always the most important part of a context. The better you are at articulating and expressing your why, the more likely you are to enroll others into your context. Why is an expression of what you care about, what your core values are. And it's the kind of source fuel that creates powerful context for shared experiences with others. So try setting a context with others and be willing to adjust so others are more likely to be a yes. Setting context is such an incredibly powerful skill that can really transform your conversations and relationships. So try some smaller examples and see how they go, and then you can work your way up to bigger, more powerful, longer contexts. The fifth and last skill for authentic relating at home is getting curious. And to really understand the authentic relating version of curiosity, it's helpful to think about an infant or a young child and how they explore their environment with this kind of unfiltered, pure curiosity, with a kind of awe and fascination for even the simplest objects. And then somewhere along the course of our lives, as we learned language and created categories and labels in our minds to make sense of the world, we gave up this innocent, pure, childlike sense of curiosity. And authentic relating asks us or invites us to tap back into it, to see and experience the world with the eyes of a child, to allow ourselves to be fascinated by everyone and everything around us, to soften and dissolve those categories and labels, and to reconnect with the world, with people in their essence. One of my teachers often said that people become interesting when you become interested. So in other words, there isn't any such thing as an inherently interesting person or thing. It's actually your interest, your curiosity, that makes the person or thing interesting and worthy of getting curious about. So I'm hoping you can see how this skill of getting curious ties in with the first skill of slowing down. As we slow down, we open up more space and notice more. And as we notice more, especially so much of life and people that might have gone unnoticed before, that childlike sense of curiosity can rise up and lead us towards more intimacy, more connection with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. You can also combine the skill of getting curious with the last skill of setting context. You can set a context for you and another person to get really curious about each other. We play the curiosity game at all of our art courses, where basically one person has 5 minutes to ask absolutely anything they want to ask. No holds barred, as long as it comes from a genuine place of curiosity. The other person can always say they don't want to answer the question, but the idea is to follow the aliveness. And aliveness always tracks with what we're most curious about. So as you allow your genuine, authentic curiosity to emerge more and more, you'll notice that it's actually a really effective doorway to greater intimacy and deeper connection with others, even if you've known them for years. So give it a shot and see what happens. So to recap our 5 skills for authentic relating at home. Number 1, slow down. Come back to breath, come back to body. Give more space for noticing what's happening in you and around you and in others. Number 2, the 3 levels of conversation: informational, personal, and relational. Relational level of conversation is defined by the here and now, what's happening right here and right now. And that's often where we'll experience the greatest amount of intimacy and connection. Number 3, listen, reflect, share impact. Listen is listening with your full presence and attention, reflecting to really get where someone is coming from and for them to feel like you get where they're coming from. And share impact. What's it like for you to be with others? Number 4, setting context, going through the process of who, what, when, where, why, to construct, create, offer, and invite people into intentional contexts that create shared experiences that honor our respective needs and desires. And number 5, getting curious, reclaiming that sense of childlike curiosity and allowing ourselves to be fascinated by the world and people around us. If you found this video useful and want to learn more about authentic relating, I'd love for you to join our free weekly art community calls. These are online calls that bring together a worldwide community of people who all share a value for conscious connection. On the calls, we give people a space to be fully welcomed and heard and seen. We run exercises designed to teach skills and provide connection, and generally come together to connect and feel like we're a part of a greater community. These calls are always open to the public, so feel free to bring other people along and come join us, get some nourishing connection, learn some more authentic relating skills, and be a part of our community. If you're interested in taking our Art of Being Human Level 1 course, we'd love to share more of this incredible practice with you. The Level 1 course is an introductory course, and no prior particular experience or training is needed. The live courses run 2 days over weekends, and our online course runs once a week for 6 weeks. And we dive much deeper into more of the powerful tools and skills that Authentic Relating offers. So head on over to our website at authenticrelating.co for all the details, and hope to see you at a course soon. Thanks so much for joining. I hope these 5 skills have been useful for you. Please take them, use them in your lives and relationships. Let us know how it goes. Love to hear from you. Wishing you much love from all of us at ART, and hope to see you somewhere sometime. Thanks so much. Many blessings, much love.